आज आपण एकदम useful मराठी pattern शिकणार आहोत. The kind you can use right away when talking about food, music, movies, hobbies, and all the stuff people actually chat about. The big idea is this. In Marathi, liking is often expressed differently from English. In English, you say, I like tea. In Marathi, you say something more like, to me, tea is pleasing, which becomes, मला चहा आवडतो. So instead of building the sentence around I like, Marathi often builds it around mala, meaning to me. Nice, simple, and super common. So let's lock in the core pattern. Mala avadtam, or mala avadte, or mala avadto, depending on the thing. And for not liking something, mala avadta nahi. Don't worry, we're not going to get lost in heavy grammar talk. Just listen for the pattern and use it like a chunk. First, the magic starter, mala. Say it with me, mala. It means to me and it shows up all the time with feelings, preferences, and experiences. Then comes the thing you like. Then a form of avadne, usually heard as avadtam, avadte, or avadto in everyday speech. Let's start with easy, real-life examples. Mala chaha avadto, I like tea. Mala coffee avadta nahi. I do not like coffee. Mala music avadta, I like music. Mala pizza avadto, I like pizza. Mala travel karayla avadta, I like traveling. Notice something important. Marathi expresses this idea differently from English. So don't try to translate word by word from I like. Just think of the whole pattern. Mala plus thing plus avadtam or another matching form. That whole chunk is your friend, best friend actually. How do you say I like tea in Marathi? Mala chaha avadto. Mala chaha avadto. Nice. Tea people, welcome. Coffee people, sorry. We'll recover emotionally. How do you say I like music in Marathi? Mala music आवडता. Mala music आवडता. Good. Here's a practical memory trick. If the thing is something general or non-countable in your mind, like music, dancing, reading, often you'll hear आवडता. Very handy default in casual speech. So if you're not sure, आवडता will often help you sound natural enough at this level. Now let's build with activities. In Marathi, for I like to read, you often say Mala वाचायला आवडतं. Literally, to me, reading is liked. Same idea for hobbies. मला cricket खेळायला आवडतं. I like to play cricket. मला गाणी ऐकायला आवडतं. I like listening to songs. मला movies बघायला आवडतं. I like watching movies. मला dance करायला आवडतं. I like dancing. How do you say I like to play cricket in Marathi? मला क्रिकेट खेळायला आवडतं. मला क्रिकेट खेळायला आवडतो. Perfect. That little yala sound in खेळायला or वाचायला is super useful for to do an activity in this kind of sentence. You don't need to overthink it. Just learn chunks. वाचायला आवडतो, बघायला आवडतो, खायला आवडतो, जायला आवडतो. Let's do food and everyday stuff. Listen and repeat in your head. मला आईस्क्रीम आवडतो, I like ice cream. मला मसालेदार खाणं आवडतो, I like spicy food. मला सकाळी चालायला आवडतो, I like walking in the morning. मला रात्री उशिरा झोपायला आवडतो नाही, I do not like sleeping late. And here's a tiny side note that helps a lot. Marathi often uses English words very naturally in daily speech. So music, movie, cricket, coffee, travel, all totally normal in casual conversation. No need to sound like a textbook from 1892. Chill. Now let's talk about dislike. Super simple. Just take the liking pattern and add nahi. So, मला चहा आवडतो, I like tea. मला चहा आवडतो नाही, I do not like tea. How do you say I do not like coffee in Marathi? मला कॉफी आवडत नाही. मला coffee आवडतं नाही. Great, very useful. And notice that avarta nahi is a chunk too. Learn it as one piece. Don't break it apart every time. Now let's make it conversational. If you want to ask someone what they like, you say, Tula kai avarta? That means, what do you like? Very common, very natural. How do you say, what do you like in Marathi? Tula kai avarta? Tula kai avarta? Good. And if you want to answer, you can say, Mala chaha avarto, Mala cricket avarta, Mala horror movies avarta nahit, Mala shanta jaga avartat. Here's another useful thing. Sometimes you'll hear different endings. Avarto, avarte, avarta, even plural forms like avartat or negative plural forms like avartat nahit. At A2, don't panic. The goal is to recognize the pattern and start speaking. If you can say Mala music avarta and Mala coffee avarta nahi, you are already communicating well. Then gradually your ear will pick up which ending sounds right with which noun. A practical shortcut. For activities and many general things, use avarta. For clear negatives, use avarta nahi. These two chunks alone will carry a lot of conversation. Let's add preference, not just like or dislike. You can often express preference by contrasting two things. Mala chaha peksha coffee jast avarte. I like coffee more than tea. Mala action movies peksha comedy movies jast avartat. I like comedy movies more than action movies. You don't have to master that today, but it's nice to hear it. The word jast means more, so if you want to say what you prefer, jast is your buddy. How do you say I like pizza in Marathi? Mala pizza avarto. Mala pizza avarto. How do you say I like watching movies in Marathi? Mala movies बघायला आवडतं. मला books वाचायला आवडतं. मला पुस्तके आवडतात. मला पुस्तके आवडतात. How do you say I like to read in Marathi? मला वाचायला आवडतं. मला वाचायला आवडतं. How do you say I do not like spicy food in Marathi? मला मसालेदार खाणं आवडतं नाही. मला मसालेदार खाणं आवडत नाही. How do you say I like traveling in Marathi? मला ट्रॅव्हल करायला आवडतं. मला ट्रॅव्हल करायला आवडतं. Excellent. You're getting the rhythm now. Mala plus thing or activity plus avardto, avardto, avarte, or for negatives, avarta nahi. One more memory trick before we wrap up. Think of mala as the emotional doorway. If a sentence means I like, I enjoy, or I prefer, there's a good chance Marathi wants that doorway first. Mala. Walk through that door, and the rest of the sentence comes much more easily. So today's big takeaways are simple. Marathi often expresses likes differently from English. Use mala at the start. For a basic positive pattern, think mala avarta. For many common nouns, you'll also hear forms like mala chaha avarto or mala coffee avarte. For negatives, use mala avarta nahi. For activities, use forms like vachaila avarta, khelaila avarta, बघायला आवडतं. And most importantly, don't wait to be perfect. Start saying real things. मला चहा आवडतो. मला music आवडतं. मला coffee आवडतं नाही. तुला काय आवडतं? That is already real Marathi. Solid, useful, everyday Marathi. खूप छान. You're doing great. Keep noticing this pattern when you hear Marathi, and try saying 3 true sentences about yourself right after this lesson. Maybe one thing you like, one thing you don't like, and one activity you enjoy. Little by little, full confidence. Jakas.